Service to private tenants for the property under the charge and control of the U.S. Postal Service registered to all tenant agencies and to all persons entering in or on such property. These rules and regulations apply to all real property under the charge and control of the U.S. Postal Service registered to all tenant agencies and to all persons entering in or on such property. These rules and regulations must be kept posted at a conspicuous place on all such property. These rules and regulations shall not apply to any portions of real property owned or leased by the Postal Service trademark that are leased or subleased by the Postal Service to private tenants for their exclusive use. With respect to restrictions on soliciting, electioneering, collecting debts, vending, advertising and posting or depositing literature on sidewalks along the street frontage of Postal Service property falling within the property lines of the Postal Service that are not physically distinguishable from adjacent municipal or other public sidewalks and any paved areas adjacent to such sidewalks that are not physically distinguishable from such sidewalks. Inspection, recording presence. Purses, briefcases, and other containers brought into, while on, or being removed from the property are subject to inspection. However, items brought directly to a Postal Service facility's customer mailing acceptance area and deposited in the mail are not subject to inspection, except as provided by the Administrative Support Manual, Section 274. A person arrested for violation of this section may be searched incident to that arrest. Vehicles and their contents brought into, while on, or being removed from restricted non-public areas are subject to inspection. A prominently displayed sign shall advise in advance that vehicles and their contents are subject to inspection when entering the restricted non-public area, confines of the area, or when leaving the area. Persons entering these areas who object and refuse to consent to the inspection of the vehicle, its contents, or both may be denied entry. After entering the area without objection, consent shall be implied. A full search of a person and any vehicle driven or occupied by the person may accompany an arrest. Except as otherwise ordered, properties must be closed to the public after normal business hours. Properties also may be closed to the public in emergency situations, and at such times as may be necessary for the orderly conduct of business. Admission to properties when closed to the public may be limited to authorized individuals who may be required to sign the register and display identification when requested by security force personnel or other authorized individuals. General restrictions. Preservation of property. Improperly disposing of rubbish, spitting, creating any hazard to persons or things, throwing articles of any kind from a building, climbing upon the roof or any part of the building, or willfully destroying, damaging, or removing any property or any part thereof is prohibited. Conformity with signs and directions. All persons in and on property shall comply with official signs of a prohibitory or directory nature, and with the directions of security force personnel or other authorized individuals. Specific restrictions. Disturbances. Disorderly conduct, or conduct that creates loud and unusual noise, or which impedes entrance to or departure from post office's trademark, or otherwise obstructs the usual use of entrances, foyers, corridors, offices, elevators, stairways, and parking lots, or which otherwise tends to impede or disturb the public or employees in the performance of their duties, or which otherwise impedes or disturbs the general public in transacting business, or obtaining the services provided on Postal Service property, is prohibited. Gambling. Participating in games for money or other personal property, the operation of gambling devices, the conduct of a lottery or pool, or the selling or purchasing of lottery tickets is prohibited on postal premises. This does not apply to state lottery tickets at vending facilities operated by licensed blind persons where such lotteries are authorized by state law. Alcoholic beverages, drugs, and smoking. Anyone under the influence of alcohol or any drug that has been defined as a controlled substance may not enter Postal Service property or operate a motor vehicle on Postal Service property. The possession, sale, or use of any controlled substance, except when permitted by law, or the sale or use of any alcoholic beverage, except as authorized by the Postmaster General or designee, on postal service premises is prohibited. The term controlled substance is defined in Title 21, United States Code, Section 802. Smoking is prohibited in all Postal Service buildings and office space, including public lobbies. Soliciting, electioneering. Collecting debts, vending, and advertising. Soliciting alms and contributions, campaigning for election to any public office, collecting private debts, commercial soliciting and vending, displaying or distributing commercial advertising, and collecting signatures on petitions, polls, or surveys, except as otherwise authorized by Postal Service regulations, are prohibited on Postal Service property. These prohibitions do not apply to the following: commercial or non-profit activities performed under contract with the Postal Service, or pursuant to the provisions of the Randolph-Shepard Act. Posting notices on employee bulletin boards as authorized by Title 39, Code of Federal Regulations, CFR 243.2. The solicitation of U.S. Postal Service and other federal military or civilian personnel for contributions by recognized agencies as authorized by the Manual on Fundraising within Federal Service issued under Executive Order 12353. Tables, chairs, freestanding signs or structures. Except as part of authorized postal activities, no tables, chairs, freestanding signs or posters, structures, or furniture of any type may be placed in postal lobbies, or on postal walkways, steps, plazas, lawns or landscaped areas, driveways, parking lots, or other exterior spaces. Public assembly and public address. Leafleting, distributing literature, picketing, and demonstrating by members of the public are prohibited in lobbies and other interior areas open to the public. Public assembly and public address, except when conducted or sponsored